Hey everyone, it's me, Thomas Murphy Cosplay, and today we will be looking at my Blue Eyes White Dragon deck profile. Now, before we get started on the review of my Blue Eyes White Dragon deck, I wanted to get it out of my chest that I'm not a huge fan of the Blue Eyes archetype. I don't mind it, but I'm more of a Red Eyes person myself, as obvious. With me, if you guys know me enough, as a Red Eyes player, well, a Yu-Gi-Oh card player, I mostly prefer Red Eyes. But the reason why I made this Blue Eyes deck is because I had various Blue Eyes cards everywhere, and I'm just like, why not make a deck profile out of it? And so I did. And I like to show it to you guys. Which, another thing, I did forget to review this deck because I had a lot of things going on anyway, so I'm very sorry that I didn't get the chance to upload it, or even make the video anyways. So we'll just get it on. So I run 3 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon, obviously. Sorry, I'm really not feeling well. Just got a bit of allergies. It's spring in Australia. I run 2 copies of Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. That's actually my favorite Blue Eyes White Dragon variant, because it's basically that when you have both these in your hand, you could just reveal this, show it to your opponent, as well as just like I'm showing off my Saddle Kaiba sleeves for my Blue Eyes deck. Pretty cool. Reveal your Blue Eyes White Dragon, and then instantly summon your Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon, and then destroy whatever monster you want. You want to destroy. So, just like how in the anime where Kaiba would instantly summon Blue Eyes White Dragon and then instant attack a monster as soon as he plays it. Like, you'd see him do that in Duelist Kingdom with him blowing up Gaia, or getting out his second Blue Eyes White Dragon against Yugi's Dark Magician. You've probably seen him in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 0 movie. He's done that as well, when Yugi thought, oh yeah, I've defeated one of his Blue Eyes White Dragons, and then Kaiba would just instantly grab his second copy and blow up his Dark Magician or his Gaia, the Fierce Knight, which happens, yeah. I run 2 copies of Dragon Spirit of White. It is basically a walking MST. As soon as you summon this, you can banish any spell and trap card on the field. And it's also treated as a normal monster in the graveyard, which is actually pretty neat. I only run 2 copies, mainly because I felt like that it would be a bit easier, since he's not that searchable compared to more of my other Blue Eyes cards I got, and the ones that you've already seen here. I run a single copy of Blue Eyes Jet Dragon. This one is just basically when it's on the field or graveyard. Some of the other cards on the field cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect. Sorry, I am really not feeling well. But, yeah, it's just another one where I could use for the spell cards we'll get to that are Yeah, we'll get to the spell cards later, but yeah, he's just another level 8 Blue Eyes White Dragon I could play. I did plan to use 3 copies of Alternative, but that would have been a bit too much, so 2's fine. I play 1 copy of Blue Eyes Shining Dragon. I know he's kind of outdated at the same time, and there had been a bit of a story. I don't remember a lot of things back in the day, but I just really remember myself, like 20 years ago, with my starter deck Joey and my Red Eyes Black Dragon that I had when I was very young. So I couldn't remember what card came first. Was Blue Eyes Shining Dragon or Ultimate back then. But yeah, I did hear about that story of saying that this card came out before Ultimate, and this was a card that was impossible to summon because you couldn't get Ultimate Dragon back then. It wasn't made. Anyways, on with the deck. 3 copies of White Stone of the Ancients. You can use this as synchro materials, or you can even use it to for link materials. We'll get to the link monster, which you probably know what it is. Play this and then use it for link materials. Special summon your Blue Eyes White Dragon. If you got a Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon in your hand and this is in your graveyard, you banish this, grab your Blue Eyes White Dragon that would have been in your graveyard, and you could summon out Alternative White Dragon. So 3 copies of White Stone of the Ancients is pretty important to play. I run 3 copies of Sage with Eyes of Blue. That is a search card. It can help search for your White Stone of the Ancients, and searching out your 3 copies of Maiden of White, which she is a very important card to play as well. And I run 1 copy of White Stone of Legend, which the White Stone of Legend is basically when it's sent to the graveyard, you can add a vanilla Blue Eyes White Dragon to your hand. That's it for monster cards. Let's get on to spell cards. Sorry, I'm really sorry about my allergies, but let's get on to spell cards. For spell cards, I run 3 copies of Trade-In. I run 3 copies of Trade-In. Trade-In is which is what I use Blue Eyes Jet Dragon as well. That's why I have Blue Eyes Jet Dragon, so you could use that for Trade-Ins. Basically, kind of like the cards, the Redstone that I have in my Red Eyes deck. Just play this, discard your level 8 Dragon type monsters, one of them, and then draw 2 cards, and voila. That's but unlike cards of the Redstone, this is unlimited. So because cards of the Redstone, it is a once per turn effect spell card, but you can use this 3 times, which is pretty good. I wish cards of the Redstone can do. It does not have that once per turn, to be honest. I run 2 copies of Greater Polymerization. Now, I know that a lot of you people are going to say, why don't you use the Blue Eyes Fusion spell? I personally like this a lot more because of the fact that it gives your Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon 2 extra effects. 1 is inflict piercing damage, and 2, it cannot be destroyed by card effects. So you're not going to get a Man-Eater Bug or a Raigeki or Dark Hole or Mirror Force. Just play this and your Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon is immune to effects. which is a lot better, and also that it can inflict piercing damage, so if someone decides to keep on playing defense, you can just piercing damage. I run 2 copies of Mausoleum of White, the field spell for your Blue Eyes deck, to help with your tuners, your light tuners, and can even help search out for your Burst Stream of Destruction, which here it is. Your Burst Stream of Destruction, basically your Blue Eyes Raigeki, but kind of a downgrade, but what it just basically does is destroy monsters, but that Blue Eyes White Dragon that you targeted cannot attack. But I just use it because he is, of course, this spell is, of course, searchable with Mausoleum. I run 2 copies of Melody of Awakening Dragons to help with searching out for your alternative and your normal Blue Eyes White Dragon. Use this and also trade in. So you can do a lot of crazy and cool combos with. And for your revival cards, I have 2 copies of Silver's Cry and 2 copies of Return of the Dragon Lords. So when this is in the graveyard, you can banish this and protect one of your Blue Eyes dragons. I run a single copy of Dragon Shrine to help with Foolish Burialing a few Blue Eyes monsters. Like say, I normally use this for my Dragon Spirit of White. Sorry for the creaking door in my house. I run a single copy of Cold by the Grave. That's more of a hand trap. 1 copy of 1 for 1 to help search out with one of your level 1 monsters. 1 copy of Wingbeat of Giant Dragons. You can use, so it's a triple spell combo that you could do. So if you play Wingbeat of Giant Dragons, return your Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand, then you play Trade In, discard that Blue Eyes White Dragon, draw 2 cards, and play a Silver Scroll Return of the Dragon Lords. You just basically cleared off the spell and trap zone, and did a Pot of Greed. So this is a pretty funny and cool combo that you could do. And I run 1 copy of Monster Reborn. And that is it for spell cards. Let's get to the hand traps. For hand traps, I run 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Basically stops your opponent from grabbing any card from the deck, or Foolish Burialing any card from the deck, or summoning. Basically, cannot search from the deck anyway. Stops your opponent from doing that, is obviously. I run 2 copies of Ghost Ballet and Haunted Mansion. Just like my Red Eyes, the hand traps are kind of similar. And I run 3 copies of Effect Veiler. These are searchable for your, thanks to Sage with Eyes of Blue. So that's a really good thing to have these. And I run 2 copies of Honest. I did go for 3, but I did feel like at the same time that would have been a little bit too much. And plus, Blue Eyes has already got a ton of attack points, so they're not as vulnerable as Red Eyes, really. Anyways, these are the hand traps. Let's get on to traps. I run 2 copies of the True Light. True Light, the cool thing about True Light is that when you have Maiden of White, you discard your Maiden of White, and then you get to search for this card, whether it's in the field, in the hand, deck, or graveyard. You can instantly play it as soon as you discard Maiden of White, which is really cool. You can even, which helps protect your Blue Eyes White Dragons. You can even summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your graveyard as well. So it's actually really cool to have. Yeah, really good continuous trap card. That is pretty important in a Blue Eyes. Now for the extra deck. I run 2 copies of Spirit with Eyes of Blue. This card helps search with Burst Stream of Destruction, Mausoleum of White. You can even link summon it by playing a White Stone of the Ancients. I almost said Black Stone. White Stone of the Ancients. Tribute it. Play Spirit with Eyes of Blue. And then summon the Blue Eyes White Dragon thanks to White Stone of the Ancients effect. Which is actually pretty cool. You can even send your Mausoleum of White to the graveyard, or even add it to your hand so you could play it. Really cool card to play. And you can summon the adult Blue Eyes White Dragon, if I think from the graveyard. Yeah, from the hand or graveyard. So pretty cool. You can even use White Stone of Legend, tribute it to play Spirit with Eyes of Blue. You could do that as well. So it's a pretty neat Blue Eyes card. And yeah, looks really cool. It's kind of cute, to be honest with you guys. A little Blue Eyes White Dragon. We've seen a baby version of Red Eyes, but a few times, like Red Eyes Baby Dragon and all that, and Red Eyes Black Chick, but this is the first time I've seen a baby Blue Eyes White Dragon. Anyways, sorry for the door slamming. 1 copy of Indigo Eyes Silver Dragon. When this card is Xyz summon with a normal Blue Eyes White Dragon, you can negate all the effects, and it is basically the same attack points as Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon. As obviously. Sorry, I haven't really used this card in a while, but you can detach this card and then target 1 normal monster that's banished, so you could bring back a Blue Eyes White Dragon that got banished. So it's actually pretty cool to have. Yeah. And I run 1 copy of Black Rose Moonlight Dragon. When you summon this, when this card is summoned, you can bounce off another card from your opponent's field. So whatever monster your opponent has, it gets bounced back to their hand. I run 1 copy of Azure Eyes Silver Dragon. Basically, it's immune to card effects and also protects your Blue Eyes monsters as well. I run 2 copies of Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. Basically stops both players from summoning 2 to more monsters. So basically locks down the pendulum summoning, and also you can tribute this card and special summon any light synchro monster, which is how I can summon Black Rose Moonlight Dragon. And another thing about Black Rose Moonlight Dragon is you can play Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. This is basically a wind attribute monster that has the basically the honest effect, where you can just attack when it battles a level 5 or higher monster. It gains the attack points and just smashes through basically any high level monster. Link monsters, no, but monsters with higher attack, with high levels, so 5 or higher, yes, it can activate its ability, and it's obviously a walking negate. And it's also same attack points and defense and level as your regular Blue Eyes White Dragon. So, yeah, just a wind attribute Blue Eyes White Dragon, basically. with a pretty kick-ass effect. And I run 1 copy of Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon. Now, this is a card I haven't used in a while, because I haven't really tested this deck, to be honest with you guys. You can basically negate any activation, and this card gains 1,000 attack points, even though, like, Crystal Wing, where it could negate and destroy and gain attack points. And you can even summon any light dragon monster from the graveyard, but not Spirit Ultimate Dragon. That's pretty... So, yeah, that's all for the Synchro Monsters. For fusions, I play 2 copies of Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon. This card cannot be destroyed by battle, and it can banish any card on the field when it as well. And it's same attack points as your regular Blue Eyes White Dragon, and you don't need polymerization. You can actually play this, use 1-for-1 to special summon a tuner, and then normal summon a light tuner as well, and you can bring out Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon, just to get, that's just so you could summon Ultimate Spirit easier. I run 2 copies of the original Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. I don't fusion summon, I don't use Greater Polymerization for these 2, but what I use Greater Polymerization for are Blue Eyes Alternative Ultimate Dragon, and my favorite is Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. So, Blue Eyes Alternative Ultimate Dragon is so you can actually destroy 3 cards at a time, and when wait, sorry. Let me get... Sorry, I'm just taking a bit of a breather. Oh, sorry, my hay fever is just fucking annoying me. But when this card is fusion summoned and the fusion materials are Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon, if one of them was that, you can target up to 3 cards your opponent controls instead. And this card cannot attack, so yeah. So, your opponent cannot target one card your opponent controls, and if this card, yeah, it's just a extra Blue Eyes Ultimate. Sorry, I'm just kind of feeling a little bit drowsy over my hay fever, and I took a few hay fever tablets. But yeah, this is my boss monster, my favorite Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon monster, my Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Now, this is what I use Greater Polymerization for as well. You play this, and it can attack 3 times, but you gotta send 2 Blue Eyes fusion monsters to the graveyard. So when you play this, you can attack for free, but if you want to make 2 more attacks on the same turn, you got to send your Blue Eyes fusion monsters to the graveyard. We can do that. And the cool thing about it is that after activating Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon's effect, is that you play Monster Reborn, revive one of your Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragons that you sent to the graveyard thanks to Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon's effect. And you can also, and if you have Blue Eyes Shining Dragon, which I've just showed you, you can summon out Shining Dragon instantly with just a Monster Reborn. So you also get a free monster out of it, which is actually pretty neat. Now, I'm not confident in a Blue Eyes deck, because even though that this is a decently fine Blue Eyes deck, this isn't, but I'm not very confident with myself as I am with my Red Eyes. But if you like this deck, that's really good. Thank you so much. But if you guys are not a fan of it or anything like that, I wouldn't blame you guys, really. Yeah. But I will be updating my Red Eyes deck, as obviously, and hopefully that I might show off my Dark Magician deck. I am a little embarrassed to show off my Dark Magician deck because I'm not good at building spellcaster decks. But we'll see how we go. I'm Thomas Murphy, and anyways, I will catch you later, and thank you.